Welcome to Red Earth Conversations. I'm Chelsey Curry, the Executive Director of Red Earth. Today, I'm honored to be joined by Choctaw artist Jane Semple Umsted. We'll talk about her distinguished career, the inspiration behind her work, and what keeps her returning to the Red Earth Festival year after year. Red Earth Conversations is made possible through the support of Allied Arts. Their commitment to arts and cultural organizations help us to share Native voices and stories with audiences across Oklahoma and beyond. Additional support is provided by the UPS store at number 3331 on North May. Thank you for helping us bring Red Earth Conversations to life. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. Today we've got Jane Semple Umsted, who is Choctaw and a master of many different art forms. Do you want to introduce yourself a little?
Well, I'm so happy to be here. This is just a fun thing to be able to do and to be able to share my story with Red Earth and with everyone else out there. I was born and raised in Durant, Oklahoma.
So how does that work, a styrofoam enlargement?
Well, that's a whole nother process. It's a whole nother thing. I didn't, I was just learning all the time. I never stopped learning. I would learn all the time. Well, so you have a small piece, small maquette size. Okay, it can, with the Dixon Durant piece, I worked with just an armature and using all kinds of things, chicken wire, wood, metal, anything to create the armature. So you start big.
Okay.
And so there you have to create that internal structure there, and just begin large. But when you have a small piece that you like and you want it to be bigger, well, in earlier times, you still would have had to create an armature. There was not a way to get it big faster, and less time consuming, and a little more accurate. So, in companies that will cut these big, huge pieces of styrofoam, it came about with able to do that through computers. So the computer reads the small maquette, takes photographs all 360 degrees all the way around, and then they're able to put that information in a computer that will direct the cutters that would cut round and round, 360 degrees around and round and round these great, will literally cut the styrofoam.
That's amazing.
Around, it takes a long time depending on the size, but that is a very common thing to do now, but still it's not the end of the process. It's only really creating an armature. But it just cuts out so many steps. It cuts out a few steps, and also you're able to more accurately recreate the small, from the small piece. So, but you still have a piece of styrofoam.
So you still have more work to do.
You still have more work to do, yeah. And so I took it back to my studio, and then, of course, the whole piece has to be covered in clay. Again, you still have to do detail. You still have to do tool work. You still have to work with your hands. You still have to be kind of recreate the piece in clay. It's just that you don't have the weight of that armature, for one thing, and it's much, because you're not using as much clay, the expense of the clay, and so on. So there's a lot of pluses. It's not, I really still prefer working from an armature.
Okay.
Particularly when you're using a human figure or an animal and you're wanting the anatomy to be more accurate. I still kind of prefer that. I've noticed how unlimited the world is in terms of sculpture, three-dimensional pieces, with the aid of computers. Not that you can exactly do it that, it's not, it never replaces your hands to me. Never. That's the part I love the most. And so I have really in the last few years been fortunate and very grateful for sponsorships and particularly the Choctaw tribe, who supported me, and Southeastern Oklahoma State University supported me recently in life-size pieces. One is the Choctaw Code Talkers that had never been, really, there's not much known about, and not enough as far as I'm concerned, known that the Choctaw were the first tribe to have code talkers in World War I. And now the piece is located at Choctaw Cultural Center in Durant. And it was unveiled last May. And it was one of the most proud moments I had ever had. I thought, this is just incredible to me, to be able to look back and realize all the influences that different people had played in my life, and so many people had encouraged me. So, back to the process. Drawing on a piece of fabric in itself is pretty tricky, because I was first told to use a hoop like you would with embroidery, because it stretches the fabric taut and it keeps the fabric
moving around on you.
But I tried that one time. I didn't want to ever do it again. Because
wasn't for you.
So I just wanted, I kept in my mind, this cloth in my mind was the same as a canvas, or same as a piece of paper, same as anything that I had experienced before. I just treated it that way. And so I just drew whatever I was going to create or think about on the fabric. But then you have to start this thinking process. You have to have melted wax, and I also put beeswax in it. And I did that. Beeswax was later, when I learned how brittle the Gulf wax, it's just the plain wax is. It's brittle, and so I wanted to get a little bit of the beeswax in there to make it a little bit softer. But I don't always put beeswax. Sometimes I want that brittle wax. But then comes the issue of two things that hit you right away, is controlling that wax and making it do what you think you want it to do. And also, you have to think in reverse. You have to think about what colors will dye on top of another color, that part. But anyway, so then when I iron it out, is the real proof of what you got. Because then you know, when all that, and by the way, I don't ever take 100% of the wax out. Okay. Because some of it helps the longevity of these pieces. The one downside to batik is that they are very light sensitive, like any fabric would be if you wanted to hold it up to a window. I mean, if you wanted to have it hang on the wall or something near a strong light source, it would be, it's going to fade. But I've got some that are in existence that are in my sister-in-law's house. I've got an early piece that's probably 50 years old, and it's still good. I went to see one at Pocola at the Choctaw Hotel and Casino that's 25 years old, and it's a 60-foot tall one, and it still looks good.
Good.
So, but it's not in bright sunlight, so they are light. They are sensitive. Like you were talking about earlier, your museum pieces. You have to pay. You always have to.
You always have to. Take care of them.
So that's when I kind of know what I've got in terms of the art piece itself, and I pretty much always leave these frayed ends. My next question was, I've always had them early on. I would glue them down, in different bad ways, but over the years I've found framers that would was done nicely, but it's floated.
Yeah.
I wanted the end piece to celebrate the fact that it was on fabric.
Yes, it's still very clear.
Not that it was on canvas or something else, because invariably I go places and people say, "What is that?" Yeah. And then, but the funniest group of people that I run into when I go to art shows with people my age, that they'll walk up and then they'll say, "Is that batik?" Because anybody that even uses that term is my age probably, because that was in the 60s and that people were doing this kind of thing. But mostly people were doing it kind of playing with it,
Yeah.
Let's see what happens when you
Just like tie-dye. Let's have fun. Yeah.
just tie that. And that never appealed to me. That I've never in my whole life done a tie-dye. I've never done one batik for fun.
You've got that structured art background.
That's there, and I never have ever approached it that way. So, but anyway, it lends itself to, I've done a very big pieces and very, very small pieces. I've done, I hate to think how many through the years I've done. I also struggle with one thing that's always, I won a first place one year at Red Earth with a batik that I was thrilled with many years ago.
Was it a grand award?
It was
Kathleen Upshaw Award?
It was not the best of show. It was in the category of all things, and it wasn't mixed media. It was in water-based media because they didn't know what to do with. They didn't know what to.
Because not very many people bring batiks. That's.
Well, they didn't. They didn't know where to put it.
Yeah.
So water-based media. I guess it would be in with the watercolors. I guess. But what I was going to say, the point was that it's. Many early years I struggled with entering these pieces because I never quit doing oils or watercolor. I never quit or sculpture. This was just
you just add on something else.
Yes, because I wanted to be. I liked that it was unique, and so it kept getting put in categories in art shows of craft, which just kind of irritated me because I did.
You're like, I'm not a crafter, I am an artisan, for sure.
I like crafts. There's nothing wrong with crafts. I didn't want that feeling. It's not, and I knew that what I was doing was not just.
It's a fine art.
It is, anyway. It's a subject matter. I mean, it's a. I don't know what you call it. I feel like I'm still between a rock and a hard place when it comes to identifying where it goes in the artist world. But I do know this. Not very many people do it, and I know this, that artists don't like it because it's very, you can't control it.
It is difficult,
and it's a pain in the neck, and it's really messy, and you don't know where you're going with it exactly. And it just so happens that I continued to do it for all these years. I don't know why. But I can.
You like to push yourself.
Well, I guess. But there are not very many people. And I saw a new thing in Santa Fe magazine that they have someone who categorized themselves as a wax artist. So I thought, was that what, I mean, batik is almost the wrong word for this. It's almost the wrong word.
Yeah.
Because
it brings that connotation you're not looking for.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know what category to put it in, but I really do feel like I'm a wax artist, whatever. And even that, people go, well, what's that? So I'm kind of conflicted in that regard.
Which makes sense. But, I mean, we do love your pieces at Red Earth, and like you said, it's won before.
Yes.
And then you do so many other pieces.
Yeah.
Along with that, you've done a lot of education in your life, like you brought up, which then leads to you winning this year's Honored One Award for Red Earth, which we love you. We're so excited to be able to celebrate you in that way. And it's an award that celebrates more than just your technique and your skill, but how much you've brought to the Native art world in general, being able to share and teach, and you've done that throughout your life.
I cannot tell you how proud I am. It is the biggest thing ever. I've heard about Red Earth for so many years. Yvonne Cogger was an early friend of mine, and I watched Red Earth develop and change through the years, and I've always thought that was the highest thing. I mean, I never thought about being honored. I never, because I think in the Native art world, we were talking about it earlier, we have so many fine artists in our history, the history of Native art, and that continue today, that I just, every time I'm going to go to the Prairie West tonight, and every time I go to a museum or a gallery, I just feel small. I feel like I'm not there yet, and I just am so in awe of all the artists that have come before me, and then that continue to work today, and that the Red Earth has been I think, the organization that has lifted us all Native artists up into a level that has maybe wouldn't have happened had it not been for Red Earth. It's been the guiding light, I believe, and the support mechanism, and the organization that has brought to light the unbelievably fine artwork that our Native artists have created over the years. And it's a special place in art that that Red Earth is championed. I believe championed, and I'm just so humbled, so appreciative. I don't want to say I didn't deserve it, but I just feel like I'm in the company of giants, and I never wished for this, but I am so. It's the best ever, and I thank you, and I thank all people that have had anything to do with this, and I feel so grateful, very, very blessed. I'm blessed with my family talent and my family history. I'm blessed to be a Native American artist still working in the world today. Extremely blessed, and feel just so grateful. Thank you. Thank you.
And thank you, I mean, for continuing sharing the art with everybody, coming to Red Earth year after year. We so appreciate you, and I cannot wait to see everything you bring this year for the 40th annual Red Earth Festival, August 1st and 2nd in downtown Oklahoma City.
Well, I'll be there with bells on, and
Wonderful.
you know what, another thing I love so much is seeing being around and visiting with the other artists through the years. I made great friends with the other artists, and I love people, and I love particularly being around in the company of the other artists very, very much, and then the public coming to appreciate the art, to purchase the art, to enjoy the art.
Sometimes just to learn about the culture too.
Oh,
It's wonderful.
learning, and now I'm a lifelong learner. That's me. I'm
Yes.
a lifelong learner.
And I've heard it over and over again from our artists that it is like another family for
Yes.
them, being able to come together, talk
Yes.
to all the other artists, have that experience.
Yes.
So
Yes.
we are very lucky to be able to continue that on. So thank you so much for coming
Well.
today and sharing your story, sharing your art forms, explaining the art forms, because I think that just makes it so much more special.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And then thank you to Allied Arts for making this possible for us to share these wonderful stories from all these amazing Native artists.
Thank you. Thank you very much.